On December 7, 2016, PIA Flight 661 took off from the picturesque town of Chitral, Pakistan, bound for the bustling capital city of Islamabad. The morning was crisp, the mountains surrounding the airport dusted with snow, as the aircraft prepared for its journey. The ATR-42 aircraft carried 42 passengers, 5 crew members, and a ground engineer, each person bringing their own hopes, stories, and dreams on board. Some were returning home, others traveling for work or to reunite with loved ones. Among them was Junaid Jamshed, a beloved pop star who had become a preacher, and the Deputy Commissioner of Chitral, Osama Waraj, a rising star in public service. Their presence added a special significance to this otherwise routine flight. The flight was considered routine, a short hop over the rugged mountains, connecting remote valleys to the heart of the nation. For many, these flights were a vital link to the outside world. No one on board could have imagined the tragedy that awaited them just a short time later. The mood was calm, with passengers settling in for what should have been an uneventful journey. The aircraft, APBHO, was a familiar sight in these parts, a lifeline for many in the region, connecting families and communities separated by vast distances and difficult terrain. But on this day, it would become a symbol of national sorrow, its loss reverberating far beyond the valleys it once served. This story will take you through the final moments of Flight 661, what happened in the cockpit, the investigation that followed, and the profound impact on families and the entire nation. It's a story of mechanical failure, human struggle, and the pain of loss, a tragedy that would leave scars for years to come. We remember the victims not just to honor them, but to learn from the mistakes and oversights that led to this disaster, hoping to prevent such heartbreak in the future. The crash of Flight 661 would shake Pakistan to its core, uniting the country in grief and reflection. It was a tragedy that touched every corner of the country, from the largest cities to the most remote villages, leaving no one untouched by its sorrow. The loss was felt deeply, especially with the presence of beloved public figures on board, whose absence left a void in the hearts of millions. This is the story of Flight 661, a story of hope, heartbreak, and lessons that must not be forgotten. The day began quietly, with the first rays of sunlight painting the runway at Chitral Airport in soft gold. For the crew and passengers of Flight 661, it felt like any other morning, routine, almost mundane. The ATR-42 lifted off smoothly from Chitral, climbing confidently into the clear, crisp mountain skies. Captain Saleh Janjua and First Officer Ahmed Janjua, both seasoned aviators, exchanged calm, practiced words as they guided the aircraft. Passengers settled in, some gazing out at the breathtaking mountain views, others chatting quietly or reading. The flight was short, just over an hour, leaving little time for anything but a quick snack, a sip of tea, and a glance out the window at the snow-capped peaks. The aircraft soon reached cruising altitude. Everything appeared normal. No warnings, no alarms, just the steady hum of engines. For the first 30 minutes, it was a textbook flight, smooth, uneventful, and peaceful. But deep inside the left engine, hidden from sight, a tiny crack in a turbine blade was quietly growing, about to change everything. The flaw was invisible to the naked eye, a silent threat, lurking and waiting to strike at the worst possible moment. The calm and comfort of the flight stood in stark contrast to the chaos that would soon erupt. In just moments, what began as a routine journey would turn into a desperate fight for survival, forever altering the lives of everyone on board. Trouble began at 4:05 p.m. A fractured turbine blade in the left engine broke off, triggering a propeller control fault in the cockpit. The pilots responded quickly, following procedures and attempting a reset. When that failed, they disabled the electronic control unit, as instructed. But the real problem was mechanical. The broken blade had set off a chain reaction. The propeller was now managed by backup systems, but the damage was done. The pilots worked together, unaware of the true extent of the failure. Passengers remained oblivious, the cabin calm. The initial warnings were just the beginning. The crisis was escalating, and the pilots were running out of options. The stage was set for disaster. At 4:12 p.m., the left engine failed completely, catching the crew off guard and instantly escalating the situation from routine to critical. Standard procedure was to feather the propeller, reducing drag and allowing the aircraft to fly on one engine. But a hidden failure made this impossible, leaving the crew with few options. A broken pin in the overspeed governor and contamination in a valve left the propeller spinning wildly, creating massive drag and robbing the aircraft of precious lift and speed. The aircraft yawed and rolled violently, the pilots fighting to keep control as the plane bucked and shuddered in the sky. The right engine struggled to compensate, but the imbalance was overwhelming, pushing the aircraft and its systems to their absolute limits. The captain declared a mayday. PIA 661, our left engine has failed, we are descending. His voice tense but controlled as he relayed the gravity of the emergency. In the cabin, fear replaced calm as the plane lurched and banked, passengers gripping their seats and bracing for the unknown. Outside, witnesses saw the aircraft flying erratically at low altitude, its struggle visible even from the ground as it wobbled and dipped. The pilots battled forces beyond their training or the aircraft's design, working together under immense pressure as seconds ticked by. The emergency was now a full-blown crisis, alarms blaring and checklists being run as the crew tried to regain control. The plane was losing altitude fast, dropping hundreds of feet in moments as the situation worsened. The sounds of the windmilling propeller filled the cabin, a deafening reminder of the danger outside and the chaos unfolding. The situation was spiraling out of control, with every second bringing the crew and passengers closer to disaster. The pilots fought desperately as the plane lost speed and altitude. The unfeathered propeller's drag caused the aircraft to stall and plummet. They pushed the right engine to its limits, struggling to keep the wings level. Air traffic control tried to help, but the pilots were overwhelmed. Inside, chaos and terror gripped the passengers. On the ground, witnesses saw the plane's final erratic descent. At 4:16 p.m., Flight 661 crashed into a mountainside near Havelian. The impact was catastrophic. There were no survivors. The pilots' efforts were heroic, but the failures were insurmountable. In minutes, a routine flight ended in tragedy. News of the crash stunned Pakistan. Images of the burning wreckage spread quickly, hope fading with each report. Rescue teams faced treacherous terrain and darkness, but it was clear, no one survived. Families waited in agony for news, clinging to hope that soon vanished. The loss of Junaid Jamshed made the tragedy deeply personal for millions. Vigils and prayers were held nationwide. The nation grieved together. The crash dominated headlines, uniting people in sorrow. The victims became more than statistics. They were mothers, fathers, children, friends. The tragedy exposed the fragility of life and the pain of sudden loss. The nation mourned, and the scars would last for years. Flight 661 became a symbol of collective grief. The urgent question: why did Flight 661 crash? Investigators recovered the black boxes, piecing together the final moments. The root cause: a turbine blade in the left engine, used beyond its 10,000-hour limit, fractured and failed. This violation of manufacturer guidelines set off the disaster. Compounding the problem, a broken pin and contaminated valve prevented the propeller from feathering. The result: uncontrollable drag, a crippled aircraft, and a situation beyond the pilot's training. The investigation revealed a chain of mechanical and procedural failures. The pilots did all they could, but the odds were impossible. The crash was not just bad luck, it was preventable. A series of overlooked warnings and ignored protocols led to catastrophe. The answers were clear, and they were damning. The investigation exposed deep flaws in PIA's maintenance culture and regulatory oversight. Critical engine parts were used beyond their certified limits, violating safety protocols. PIA failed to implement updated maintenance manuals and ignored manufacturer warnings. The broken pin and contaminated valve were signs of systemic neglect. The Civil Aviation Authority's oversight was inadequate, missing glaring safety gaps. These were not sudden failures, but long-standing issues waiting to surface. The tragedy was as much about organizational failure as mechanical breakdown. The crash was a wake-up call for Pakistan's aviation industry. Safety protocols had been compromised, with devastating consequences. Urgent reforms were needed to restore trust and prevent future disasters. The legacy of Flight 661 is one of grief, reckoning, and reform. For families, the pain endures, a daily reminder of lives cut short. The nation's trust in its airline and regulators was shattered. Junaid Jamshed's death made the loss resonate even deeper. The tragedy forced a national conversation about accountability and safety. Investigators called for stricter maintenance, better training, and stronger oversight. PIA was ordered to replace all aging turbine blades and overhaul its safety culture. The crash became a catalyst for change, exposing the cost of complacency. Flight 661's story is a cautionary tale. Every link in aviation safety must be strong. When one fails, the consequences are catastrophic. The victim's memory demands vigilance and reform. The greatest tribute is to ensure such a tragedy never happens again. Flight 661's legacy is a call to action for safer skies.